Cheers to the new year! We've had a rough go of it in 2020, but let's toast to a brighter future. Today I'll show you how to make a simple sparkling wine at home. I promise it's not hard, and I'll show you how. I'm TheBruSho, and this is TheBruSho. Let's pop bottles. Now I'm no sommelier, but I've been making wine at home for about 8 years, and I'm going to share my tips and tricks on making delicious wine for yourself right at home. While traditionally wine is made from fresh grapes, today we're keeping it as simple as possible and using grape juice as our base. Before we get started, please take a second to subscribe for more winemaking and home brewing tutorials like this. Now, let's get into it. Today we'll be making a white sparkling wine, and notice I didn't say champagne. Champagne technically only comes from the Champagne region of France. My wife and I were lucky enough to take a part of our honeymoon in Champagne. We visited various champagne houses and toured the old underground caves where the champagne is stored. It was such an amazing way to taste and learn more about how champagne is made. The earliest history of sparkling wine dates back to the 1500s when some winemaking monks bottled wine before fermentation ended, resulted in continued fermentation in the bottle, making the drink fizzy. At the time, bubbles were considered a fault in the winemaking process, but through the years people started to come around. And thanks to improvements in glass blowing for stronger bottles, wine cork cages to keep corks from flying out, the many process improvements thanks to Madame Clicquot, and some clever marketing, champagne has grown to be a premier alcoholic beverage. It's seen as a drink for celebration, whether for weddings, New Year, or winning a championship. I even brewed up a couple batches for my own wedding to hand out to guests as they arrived. But sparkling wine doesn't only have to be for celebrations. Sometimes a nice glass of bubbly is the perfect way to toast to life. Alright, enough background, let's make some sparkling wine. This recipe is about as simple as it gets and can be easily scaled up to any amount you want. Today I'm going to make a 1 gallon batch, so for that we need 1 gallon of white grape juice. As mentioned in my other cider videos, when using juice, just make sure it has no preservatives that will inhibit yeast growth. They're written as sorbates, sulfites, and benzoates. Now pour that white grape juice into a fermenter. I'm using a food-safe bucket. Are you interested in more wine-related videos from me? Let me know in the comments. Next we need to add yeast nutrients to help feed the yeast and ensure we have a healthy fermentation. I'm adding 2 kinds, 1.5 grams of Fermaid O and 5 grams of DAP, Diammonium Phosphate. The juice doesn't have a lot of nutrients for the yeast, so adding these are definitely recommended. I've used just DAP in the past, and while it works, I get better results when I use both types of nutrients. The juice itself has some sugars in it, a gravity of about 1.040. But if you want to boost the alcohol content to normal wine levels, I recommend adding some sugar. I'll be adding corn sugar, which is quick to dissolve. I'm using 8 ounces. This will boost our original gravity to 1.061. Lastly, I add the champagne yeast. My go-to is EC1118. Champagne yeasts are great for attenuation, to push the yeast to ferment as much sugars as possible to make it strong and dry. Now just pop a top on, give it a shake to incorporate oxygen, add an airlock, and then let this baby ferment in a cool dark area for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I noticed the airlock activity had slowed down, so I take a final gravity reading of 1.002. That means this wine comes in at 7.7%. We officially have wine. If you want still wine, you can stabilize and bottle with normal wine bottles and corks. But we're all here for the bubbles, so let's explain how we can make that happen. The carbonation in champagne is made using a second fermentation in the bottle, just like bottle conditioning beer or F2 when making kombucha. To achieve that, we need to add more sugar to feed the remaining yeast. I show the exact same process in my chai pear cider video if you want to know more. But using a priming calculator that factors in temperature and the amount to bottle, I find the amount of sugar needed and add it to a bottling bucket before racking the wine on top and then transferring that mixture into champagne bottles. Being careful not to oxidize the wine too much. For champagne bottles, the simplest way to get them is to save bottles, and ask friends to save some for you too. Give them a good clean and sanitizing, make sure there are no cracks, and they are perfect for reuse. Just make sure they're champagne bottles and not regular wine bottles. Normal wine bottles can't hold the pressure created in second fermentation and have a risk for explosion. All you need to do is cap them with some champagne corks and wine cages. both of which are sold online in bulk and are relatively inexpensive. The corks I'm using are actually made from plastic, and they fit almost any champagne bottle. Once they're corked and caged, you just need to have a little more patience while they condition for 2 weeks. That's the minimum time needed to get the proper amount of fizz. And finally, after those 2 weeks, it's ready to drink. Our homemade sparkling wine is a nice golden yellow hue, and the bubbles are just perfect, effervescent and tickling on the tongue. If you give your F2 a bit more time, you won't be disappointed. 2 weeks is the minimum I suggest. It's bright and clear, but you'll see that there's some yeast that settles at the bottom of the bottle since we bottle conditioned. The taste is a good combination of sweet and dry. While on your first sip you get those fruity grape notes, they're backed with a slight bite of alcohol and a drier final gravity that makes it crisp. It isn't as strong as your typical sparkling wine, so you can have a few extra glasses. This isn't fine wine, but it tastes damn good. It's perfect in cocktails, in a mimosa, or of course on its own. If you're able to age these bottles for a few months, any harshness will mellow out and give you an even better product. Give this recipe a try and let me know if you do. Cheers to 2021 being a better year for all of us. Happy New Year, and thanks for watching.